Okay, we are going to look at what you need to remember when using Microsoft Access. Okay, when you open Microsoft Access, first thing is to create a database by clicking blank desktop database. When you come to this area, the name of the database is always given in the question, so you need to read the question first. Let's say I'm creating a database with the name friends. Because of the uniqueness of our school system, you are not allowed to save the database in your document. You are required to come to here, browse and look for My Computer and go to Drive M. You have a Drive M under the My Computer. Click OK once you located Drive M, or we also call it a home folder. Then you are allowed to create your database. Once you select your home folder, which is Drive M, you click Create. If you don't follow this step, there will be an error message. Now you are in the Microsoft Access. You need to name your table. You need to create the fields inside the table. In order to do that, you right click. You can choose to right click here and go to Design View, or you can just click here to go to the Design View. Now you're required to name your table. Again, you have to look at the questions and name the table according to what you're told to. So in this case, I just assume we are going to call this a new student table, new student. I click OK. This is the place you create the fields inside your table. Again, you have to look at your questions and see what you are told to create, unless you are told to create them by yourself. It depends on which year group you are in. Okay, for example, I will start with this friend ID. If you are using auto number, just remember you are not allowed to enter anything inside the auto number field, because the computer will automatically create a number for you. We can use auto number for ID. This one gold color key shows that this is a primary key. A primary key can use to uniquely identify a record in a table. Now we need to have friend name. Okay, if you type friend name is fine, but if you just type name, you will see another error. But it is fine. Just click OK, and you can see that the name you supply is a reserved word, but it doesn't matter. You just click OK. At your level, it won't be any problem. Okay, we will be using short text in here. Okay, short text for the name field. Depending on your year group, some of you may have to adjust the field property of the field. Okay, usually 255 means you are allowed to store up to 255 characters long for the name, and it's too much. We only require maybe 20, especially if you divide the name field into first name and last name. Since I'm just showing example, I'm just going to create a few simple fields, and I want to show you the other features that you must remember when using Microsoft Access. Okay, I want to try to put in something like country. Which country my friend come from. Again, I'm going to use 20 characters long. I want to put in something like date field, date of birth. For date of birth, I have to select date and time. I also want to create a number field. In this case, I just want to create a simple one, maybe just like age. Usually we don't enter age because we can calculate using the date of birth. Okay, this is sufficient enough for me to show an example. Once you have finished entering, what you do is to save the table. If you don't save the table and go straight to datasheet view, it is fine. It will prompt a message asking you to save your table. So I just save first before I go back to datasheet view. Again, you can go back by right click on your table name and select datasheet view, or just go straight or just come to here to select datasheet view. Now you see we have created 5 different fields for this table with the name student, new student. Okay, I actually created friends. Okay, anyway, this is just an example, so I just trying to put something different, and they may be not logically related, but what I want to show is just examples. You are not supposed to enter directly according to your syllabus. Even from year 3 year 3 group, you are supposed to learn how to use a form to enter records into table. What is a record? When you have a combination of field, for example, ID, name, country, field, age of a particular person, this is called a record. Now I want to show you how to create a form. Go to create. The easiest way that you can create a form is by just click form. Okay, this is the easiest way, but there is a problem with this also. Sometimes the field might be too long, doesn't display properly, and if you have too many fields, they may not be properly aligned. So sometimes I may just use another method, but before that I just show you. You are not able to enter anything after you click the form. You have to go to form view to start entering data. Okay, entering your first record. Or the other way of creating a form, okay, I'll just close this one, and I don't want to save the form. I show you create a form from wizard. Okay, the error message is not supposed to be there. Once you click form wizard, you're supposed to come to here. You may have more than one table. In this case, if you have, in my case, I only have one table, so I don't have to worry. If you have more than one table, on the left hand side, you may have to select this form is to create for which table by selecting here. Okay, for us, we have to enter everything, so I just click here to bring everything over to my form. Click next. You can use any type you like, but columnar is good enough. Okay, so in here I can just follow the name of my form, new form, but if you're doing your exam, you may have to read the questions again. You might be given different name. So maybe I just show if I have a new name for this form, maybe student. In most cases, a simple form like this may not need to modify, so I just click finish. Now you see when you create view with the use of wizard, the form is different, it will just create according to the field length. It's better, it's nicer, but again it's not so simple. You have a few steps to go through. Now to enter the first record, okay, make sure you are in the form view, because you might be in the layout view or design view. But if you want to make some changes to your form design, you can go to the design view, click on the field to increase or decrease the length. Okay, you want to readjust the arrangement, you can do it in the design view. Let me come back to the form view and start entering some records. So during the exam, you might be given the records to enter. Usually there will be more than one. So you just follow the questions and enter accordingly. Let's say a name. Okay, let me give a name. It will be Bin. Oh, accidentally changed to Chinese input. Let me change it back. Okay. Okay, Bin from United Kingdom. Okay, there's something wrong. Yes, there's something wrong with my computer here. During the creation process, I've selected Chinese, and now, okay, date of birth. For date of birth, just be careful, because you are not very sure in your computer whether you are following the UK format or the US format. So the safest way is to click here, choose the month and the day, but leave out the year. Okay, so for example, if someone born in June, maybe 20th of June, of course cannot be born today or this year, maybe somewhere. Then after you select the month and day, you change the year. Okay, so this is 2014, so maybe this is about 24. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, usually age may not be required, because we can do calculated field. Okay, this is first record. To enter the second record, you have to come to this area, click on next record to proceed to the second record. Okay, now you're entering the second record. To look at what you have entered in the first record, you can click here. Okay, now I try to enter the second record. Okay, again, Chinese input. Date of birth, anyhow select one. And try to remember the change. This one maybe year 2000. Okay, I just entered two record, but you can notice that it doesn't reflect in your table. What you need to do is you close this form, you close the table, double click on the table to see what you have entered previously. The third thing I'm going to show you is how to create a query. So before query, let's say I want to arrange this date of birth started with the eldest one from the youngest. I can click on this little triangle here and sort according to, if I want to, oldest to newest or newest to, this is the record when you enter. So try to understand that A to Z, this is A to Z is ascending order, Z to A is descending order. So if I want to start with the oldest, okay, that means this is the, you look at the date. The date is a little bit strange because I look at the year. Actually the bigger number means the younger student. To remove the filter, you have to make sure you're in the home tab and click remove sort. Okay, then it will go back to normal. Okay, just like what I have told you, you can use the filter in the country here. For example, I want to arrange from ascending order, so I just click here. Okay, this is ascending, doesn't shows okay, because this one is already in the order here according to the records, A to Z. Unless I just change it back to Z to A, then you will notice Brian will come first, because B is the same. After that we compare the R and E. R is the later. That's why when you arrange in descending order, Brian will come first. Okay, I remove the sort. Now to create query is to filter the table so we get what we want. You can use query wizard. Okay, when they come out with any message, doesn't matter, just click OK. Sometimes because of changes they ask you to save. We use simple query wizard in here. Click OK. Again, you have to make sure you select the table, not the form, not anything else. Okay, some of you may select another query to create another query, and end up you see nothing inside. So in this table, you select the right table, new student, make sure everything go over there. Click next. We need to show detail. Click next. And again, this is the place you need to read the questions again and find out what is the name of your query. Maybe this is query for Malaysia student. We need to make sure we select modify the query, because we haven't entered any criteria. If we don't enter criteria, it will not work. Just click finish. So you can see in our table we have friend, ID, name, country, date of birth, age. What criteria do we need to enter? Okay, we can come to here. You can see there's a sort field also. You can actually sort at the same time. Criteria for country, we want to make sure we only display student from Malaysia. Double apostrophe, this one double, then Malaysia. This shows you are entering a text. If you are entering age, then you are not required to put in this. To test your query, double click on this query, and now you see it only shows student from Malaysia. I right click. If you want to make changes, you can just right click, go back to design view, and you can make changes again. Especially if you are using other short forms, you may find that what you enter in the record is different, so you have to modify this criteria to meet the data you enter in the criteria in the table so that they can filter out. So this is done for filtering Malaysian student. I close it. Of course, save changes. Next, I want to create another query. Okay, again bring over. The steps are always the same. The only difference is the name. This time, query for student, which is okay, greater than 12 years old. Okay, maybe greater than 16 years old. Select modify the query design and click finish. Again, we have to enter in the age field. We just type greater than 16. So 16 will not be included. It will be from 17 onwards. Double click and we see there's only one student who is greater than 16 years old. Okay, done for the query part. Now I close the query, save it, and I can also close the table. After creating the queries, what you need to do is create reports. Okay, create reports based on query. So as I mentioned, similar to the form, you can just create a report by clicking report, but the report will not be so aligned properly because it's just display out without any proper design. So I recommend to use report wizard. Again, you will see similar way of doing. Make sure you are creating selected this Malaysia student. Bring over all the fields. Click next. You don't have to group any level. Do you want to arrange things from ascending order? If you want, you can just according to name, arrange name in ascending order if there are many records. Easier for you to look for the records. Here you can choose columnar, tabular, justified. You can choose landscape if you want to. So columnar is good enough. So here you can ask the computer to adjust the field width for you. Next, this is the report, so we change this to report for Malaysia student. Okay, we didn't include an S. Okay, it doesn't matter. Modify, finish. When we click modify, it's just to make sure that all the fields are correct, properly aligned, display properly on the screen. So seems like this is fine. So we just double click and you can see the records are displayed properly. If you want to make it nicer, either left justify or right justify, then you just come back to design view. So the name, go back to home, country. Okay, let's save it and try again. Okay, same for the rest of the field. Okay, this is now we can see it's better to arrange the other way. Go back to home. Okay, seems like everything left justified, left aligned will be better. Okay, now the record, this is only one record. Okay, display one by one. If you have more, they will display at the bottom. it is columnar. Fine. So let's create another one for this student that's greater than 16 years old. Let me just close this. I repeat, create report wizard, bring over, make sure the name is correct from the query, because you may have more than one query. Click next. Do not need to group any level. Select name in ascending order if there are more than one. Okay, this one we create a tabular landscape. Okay, so report, click modify, finish. Okay, this time let's have a look how the report looks like. So this is really up to you whether you want to do it left align or right align. You can do it the same way. You can always modify your design by coming to design view. Okay, that's it. This is a simple revision from Microsoft Access. I'm Mr. Fong here from Austin Heights. I hope you enjoy your learning.